There is a person you know right now who never seems to break. You have seen it. Life hits them hard. People say awful things to them. Things fall apart around them. And yet, they just keep moving. No drama, no meltdown, no begging for sympathy. They just smile and keep going like nothing touched them at all. And you are standing there thinking, what is wrong with them? Or, better yet, what is wrong with me? Because you feel everything, deeply, too deeply. Someone gives you a cold look and your chest tightens. Someone says one mean thing and you replay it for 3 days straight. One person walks out of your life and suddenly the whole world feels like it is ending. You are not weak. You are not broken. But something is happening inside of you that nobody ever taught you how to stop. And today, that changes. Because after this video, nobody will be able to hurt you the way they used to. Not your boss, not your family, not the person who left, not strangers on the internet, no one. But only if you are willing to hear what I'm about to tell you. Because most people will hear it and still not change. The question is, are you different? Here is something nobody teaches you growing up. Not in school, not at home, not anywhere. Pain does not come from the outside. Read that again. Pain does not come from the outside. When someone hurts you, the hurt is not living in their words. It is not in their actions. It is not even in the situation itself. The pain is living inside of you. It was already there, sitting quietly in the dark, waiting for something to wake it up. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a bruise on your arm, a really bad one. Now, if someone gently taps your arm in the exact same spot, that tap hurts like fire. But if someone taps your friend in the same spot, they feel nothing. Same tap, different result. Why? Because your friend does not have a bruise there. That is exactly what happens with emotional pain. When someone's words hit you and you feel destroyed by them, it is not because the words are so powerful. It is because those words landed on an old wound that never healed. A bruise you have been carrying for years, maybe your whole life. And here is the thing. Until you treat the bruise, every little tap is going to feel like a punch. This is why two people can go through the exact same thing. One walks away fine, the other is shattered. It was never about the situation. It was always about what was already living inside of them. There is a pattern, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You get hurt by the same type of person, over and over. Different face, same wound. You get triggered by the same kind of situation. A different day, a different moment, but the exact same feeling in your chest. Like a song you hate but keeps playing on repeat. This is not bad luck. This is not fate. This is your unhealed self calling for attention. Here is how it works. Every single thing that makes you overreact, everything that makes you go from 0 to furious in 1 second, everything that keeps you up at 3 in the morning replaying conversations. Each one of those things is pointing at something inside you that needs to be looked at. Not fixed, not buried, not pretended away. Looked at. Most people run from this. It is easier to blame the other person. Thus, it is easier to say they are toxic, they are the problem, they ruined me. And maybe they did do something wrong. But the reason it still lives inside of you, the reason it still has power over you months or years later, that part is yours. That part is waiting for you to face it. Think about the things that make you feel the smallest. Someone calling you stupid, someone ignoring you, someone leaving without explanation, someone not choosing you. Now ask yourself this. Would those things bother you if you truly believed in your own worth? If deep down in your bones, you knew your value and no one on earth could shake it? Would their opinion of you even matter? No, it would not. The reason it hurts so much is because a part of you believes they might be right. That is the bruise. That is what needs healing. Here is the moment that changes everything. It is not a big dramatic event. It is a quiet one. It happens inside of you, in a split second, when you finally see what is really going on. Most people spend their whole lives in reaction mode. Something happens. They react. Someone speaks. They react. Life moves. They react. They are like a pinball machine, every little thing knocking them somewhere new, and they call this living. But there is another way to move through this world, and it starts with one thing, the pause. Before you react, before the anger boils over, before the tears fall, before you send that message you will regret at 2 in the morning, there is a tiny space, a small gap between what happened and what you do next. Most people never find it because they are moving too fast. But that gap is where your power lives. In that gap, you get to ask one question, just one, and it is this. What is this actually about? Not what did they do, not why are they so awful, not what is wrong with the world, but what is this actually about? Because 9 times out of 10, The explosion you feel inside has very little to do with what just happened in front of you. It is older than that. It is deeper than that. It is yours. The moment you start asking that question, you stop being a victim of your own reactions. You become the person watching the storm instead of the person caught inside it. Now let's talk about what this actually looks like in real life, because philosophy is nice, words sound good. But what happens when the person who always makes you feel small says something cruel? What happens when you are disrespected in front of people you care about? What happens when someone you love walks away? Here is the truth. You are going to feel it. You are supposed to feel it. The goal is not to become a robot, not to stop caring, not to pretend nothing affects you. The goal is to feel it without being controlled by it. There is a massive difference between those two things. A person who is untouchable is not someone who feels nothing. They are someone who feels everything, and then makes a choice about what to do with what they feel. They do not hand over the wheel to their emotions. They sit in the driver's seat. They acknowledge the feeling, they trace it back to where it really comes from, and then they choose their next move with a clear head. That is power, real power, not the kind you get from money or status, the kind that nobody can take from you. Yeah, and here is the beautiful part. The more you practice this, the thinner the walls of everything become. Insults stop sticking, rejection stops destroying you, silence stops feeling like punishment. The things that used to eat you alive for days start sliding off you like water off glass, not because you stopped caring about life, but because you finally started caring about yourself more than you cared about other people's opinions of you. Here is something that will make you see people differently starting today. When someone tries to hurt you, they are not in control. They are looking for it. They want a reaction from you because your reaction gives them something they are missing. Power, attention, proof that they matter. Every single time you react, you hand them exactly what they came for. But the moment you stop reacting, the moment you look at them with calm eyes and give them nothing, something shifts. The game is over. You have taken back every bit of control you ever gave away. And this does not mean you have to be cold. You do not have to be mean. You can be warm, you can be kind, you can even be kind to the people who have hurt you. But you stop needing things from them. You stop needing them to apologize. Stop needing them to understand. Stop needing them to change so that you can feel okay. Because the moment you need someone else to change in order for you to feel peace, you have made them your prison guard without even knowing it. Your peace is not in their hands. It never was. It lives inside of you, and it is yours the moment you decide to take it back. Most people will watch this and nod their heads. They will say, yes, that makes sense. They will feel something move inside of them, and then tomorrow the same person will say something, and they will react the exact same way they always have. Because knowing is not the same as doing. Only the people who actually change are the ones who take the hardest step. They stop pointing the finger outward and start looking inward. They say, I am not going to ask why this person keeps hurting me. I am going to ask why I keep allowing it. Why do I keep going back? Why does this still affect me? What is the thing I am still carrying that keeps making me a target for this kind of pain? That is not a question for weak people. That is actually one of the most courageous things a human being can do. It is uncomfortable, it is raw, it is honest, and it is the only thing that actually works. Because when you heal the wound, no one can use it against you anymore. When you own your story, no one can weaponize it. When you know your own value from the inside, no compliment can lift you up too high, and no insult can drag you down too low. You become steady. You become still. You become the kind of person people look at and think, what do they know that I do not? And the answer will be exactly this. They stopped giving the world the power to define them. Here is something dark that nobody wants to say out loud. But it needs to be said. The people who hurt you the most are usually the people in the most pain themselves. That does not make what they did okay. That does not mean you have to stay. But understanding it changes something in how you carry it. A person who is full inside does not go around trying to empty others. A person who knows their own worth does not need to destroy someone else's. Cruelty is almost always a cry. Control is almost always fear. Coldness is almost always a wall built by someone who got burned before you ever arrived. That does not make you responsible for healing them. You are not their therapist. You are not their punching bag. You are not the lesson they learn before they become good enough for someone else. But it does mean this. Their behavior was never really about you. It was always about them and the war they have been fighting inside themselves, long before you ever walked into their life. When you truly understand that, something shifts. The anger does not go away, but it loses its grip because you stop taking it personally. You stop making their damage mean something about your worth. You stop writing yourself as the reason for their storm. They were already raining before you got there. You just happened to be standing outside, and once you understand that, you can put down the weight of it. You can stop trying to figure out what you did wrong. You can stop replaying every moment looking for where you failed. You can stop apologizing for existing in a space where someone was already broken. You can just let it go, not for them. For you, because you deserve to travel light. You were never too sensitive. You were never too emotional. You were never the problem. You were just someone who never got taught how to protect your own peace. And now you know. The people who cannot be broken are not lucky. They are not cold. They are not superhuman. They are just people who decided, one day, that they were done letting the outside world live inside their head, rent-free. That decision is yours right now, not tomorrow, not when things get easier, right now. Make the choice. Find the pause, ask the real question, heal the real wound, and watch how fast the world loses its power over you. Nobody will be able to touch you the same way again. Not because they changed, but because you did. Drop a comment below. Tell me what part hit you hardest. And if you know someone who needs to hear this today, send it to them. You might not know what they are carrying right now, but this might be exactly what helps them put it down. See you in the next one.